People, deluded. I'm back again now. Martinelli seems to be coming to the club, and I think he turns 18 very soon, so we might see some movement in that. And Claude Alexis Maurice has been linked with us, so he's not an official player, but this video got me thinking. Now, I don't feel there's one point you can have, because there's several ways and several variables which we'll get onto. But what could them two signings allegedly mean for our squad? Now, there's many ways. What does that firstly mean for young players? Because from a fan's point of view, for Emre point of view, it's terrific. We've got a lot of homegrown young players, and we'll have them two bedded into the side. So it will be perfect to have that depth, to have that sort of youthful side in several positions to move forward with, and it's a squad to move forward with. If we sign Claude, for example, he can play on the flanks, he can play as a support striker, he can play, and I think he could be developed to play up front and do that, such as his goal scoring record last season. You'd have Martinelli, who can play as a winger, but from things I've seen in people more reputable on him, because I'm not going to pretend, people, allegedly he could be a striker. Whether these players can do it or not, you know Arsenal love these multifunctional sort of players, people. So there's them two to come in. What does that mean for the young players? Because Martinelli seems to, what we hear, he's going to be put in the 23s and work his way up. But the money spent and the way he's sourced, you'd be thinking he'd be fast-tracked to a degree. Claude, I back him to hit the ground running, but he's still a relatively inexperienced player himself. But if he signed for 80 million, for example, you'd be inclined to think he's going to feature in a significant way. If we just look at the wingers, what could it mean for these young players? Because again, we have a lack of wingers, and we clearly do. Emre's shown he'll play Lacazette or Aubameyang at times up front alone, but it got me thinking, does he, away from them two just being our best attacking outlet and scoring goals and things like that, could he go with both of them because he doesn't believe in the wingers at all, people? Like, he just doesn't believe in the personnel we have. If Martinelli's coming in, whether Emre wanted him or not, he's going to have to be developed. And Claude, you'd imagine Emre kind of green lighted the signing. Like I said, they're both adaptable. So what could that mean? And if you're one of these young players, you've got to look at your career very delicately in this summer. Again, everybody's developing at different rates and at different periods. I don't feel everybody needs to leave for the sake of it. But from a selfish individual point of view, if you're any of these players and advisors, what does it mean for you? Because Mkhitaryan's likely to be here, and Iwobi is favoured by Emre, who I like Iwobi. These lot are going to take up the positions on the flanks. But if you add into that Mkhitaryan, Iwobi, the fact that Claude can play out there, the fact that Martinelli can play out there, we factor in Nelson, whose future, at least immediate future, appears unclear. He signals his intentions to play, but we'll see. You've obviously got him, you've got Emil. It becomes pretty political. Everybody is developing at different rates and things like that, people. But I just have to wonder, what does the signings of Martinelli and Claude mean for Reiss Nelson specifically and Emil? Because I'd say probably them two would be the ones next season you'd expect to, if you had to put your hat on two of the young players to say to feature on a regular basis. But both were farmed out on loan, so we don't know. I feel Saka and Amici should be gradually given minutes. I don't feel they're ready to be regular Premier League footballers, as we can all admit. 20 minutes here, a start in a cup game there, developing things. If they earn the right and they develop faster, then why not? Do you see what I'm saying? If you're obviously Tyrese, John Jules and Eddie and Ketia, and probably, I know Balogun signed a new deal, and Greenwood's about as well, who can play in a couple of roles. But what does it mean for you? Because if Martinelli can be played as a striker, I think he'll play predominantly as a winger, but based on the reports I was reading, he can play there. Claude can play as a winger, as a support striker, as a cam sort of thing, and I believe he can be developed up front. That's sort of your role. What does that mean for you? Beyond, obviously, Lacazette and Aubameyang, people, who are two strikers in themselves. Only a certain amount of players can play. Now, again, a lot of these players are teenagers. Everybody's developing at different rates. As much as I love these young players, I don't know what I'm going to get from them within 10 games or so. But what does it mean for these young players? Because again, I want everyone to get chances, but they're all developing at different rates. In an ideal world, hopefully what Arsenal should do is tie people down, ideally, and develop them, and ones that don't be sold. But I've said this in a couple of times, I'm not going to expand on it, people, but I know for a fact some talented players that a lot of people gas up, they want to stay at Arsenal, they want to make it. Arsenal want them to sign new deals and do sort of things, but they're having cold feet. They're assessing their situations, as they should do at all these top 6 clubs, because to a degree it is an impossible job, people. I'm not going to talk more tough on that, but it is a gift and a curse to really have players in multiple positions and situations. Also, when you factor in what I've said about Martinelli and Claude, you've got Eddie and Nketiah. You've also got Joe Willock as well with the whole midfielder situation. We'll have to see what happens, people. Because for me, it should be Emil, Rose Smith, and Nelson. Really looking at them as first teamers, especially Nelson. Gradually integrate Saka and Amici. I'd love to see Tyrese get opportunities and fill that void as a striker as well, if and when the minutes present themselves. I say this because I believe Eddie should be going on loan next season. If he's not going to do that himself, we'll look again playing week in, week out. You can't. These for me, Emil. In particular, Emil, Nelson, Eddie, and Joe Willock cannot be playing 23 football next year. Ben Shafe as well, but in terms of looking at these first teamers right now, cannot be playing under 23s football next year, people. It's a waste of time if they are. Saka and Amici, like I said, making progress in the first team, and they should just be playing 23s if and when it presents it, just to stay fit, people, because match fitness, because again, like I said, until they earn the right to play week in, week out, we'll have to see. And it also got me to thinking as well, people. Obviously, you've seen reports that Emre wants 2 wingers and things like that, and all of these sort of things. Does he play? If he does, I've already kind of said, does he play 2 up front because he doesn't believe in wingers in general, but allegedly he wants 2 wingers. If he does want 2 wingers, people, by the flip side of my argument, if he does want 2 wingers now, what could that mean for Aubameyang and Lacazette now? On top of all of these, if you had Claude, if you had Martinelli gradually integrated into the team, these young players, and some that are here already in Aubameyang and Lacazette, it's great options to have on the flanks as well as up front. Imagine you've got good options whether you want to go 2 up front, in a 4-4-2, 2 up front in a 3 at the back. You could do your 4-3-3 with either one. If he does get the 2 wingers he allegedly wants, or does believe in Nelson. I really hope he does, and get a winger that he wants. Will we see a Lacazette or Aubameyang's game time diminished? And obviously, allegedly, the club is going to go in talks with both of them to sign new deals. So we'll have to see how that one develops, people. From a club's point of view, it is obviously we need that luxury of being able to play 2 strikers, 1 striker, 2 wingers, 2 strikers, 1 winger sort of thing, and doing little diverse sort of things on a football pitch, people. But it's going to be a weird one, man, because the alleged signing of Maurice, let's call him Maurice, of Maurice and Martinelli really got me thinking of what it could mean for the young players beyond the ones that are already having cold feet. And it's also got me thinking in regards to the first team and the options and stuff. But it also got me thinking about people. One, Unai Emery, he does believe in wingers, but did he go with 2 strikers throughout the season? Not just because the 2 strikers are great strikers, but because he didn't believe in a winger. But did he? But if he does get them in now, will we see either Lacazette and Aubameyang's game time diminished? If they're both going to sign new deals and that happens now, what happens in that degree? Now, I believe both should be more often than not playing up front, but there's obviously games you play one, you play the other. Games Aubameyang's come off the bench and devastated. Lacazette the same. They've both started well. Games are a bit more tight and a bit more technical. You're looking at Lacazette. Aubameyang, obviously their best partnership, because Aubameyang, what I like about him, he's just here for goals. I think his general play can improve a lot, but it's not as bad as people think. Like, I don't think his technical ability is appalling, but he's just here for goals. As much as I love Lacazette and he scored some important goals and he's here for the big games and he's probably my favourite player in that side, looking at the statistics, I see 22 league goals from Aubameyang. I see 13 from Lacazette. He's been there 2-3 years now. He's yet to hit 20 goals. So they've both got pluses and minuses. And where Lacazette falls short, Aubameyang makes the difference. Where Aubameyang falls short, Lacazette makes the difference. Where they both fall short, wingers should make the difference. Do you get it, people? different thingies in the squad, different options and rotation options makes us unpredictable. If you compare it to cooking, different spices make different things happen, and different ingredients, better yet, people. You get me? Sometimes, well, you minimum requirement in everything should really be onion. If you don't use onion, you can't cook. But there's that. You obviously got paprika, you got bird things, man. Do you get it, people? Different things that the chef can utilize to alter the meal depending to the customer being the game environments, people. Because how we play against Chelsea, for example, might not be the way we can have a foggiest chance against City or against United or against Liverpool, or how you play at Watford away might not be successful against Leicester away. Do you get it, people? We need to have different formations. Obviously, I believe you should have one core principle and way of doing things, and you deviate from that. I don't believe in what we've seen at times of just changing the thing game in, game out. And as much as I love Unai Emery and his tactics and how he changed things early and he's not afraid to make a change, the same logic and flip side to that argument could be, are you setting us up in the right way all the time? If, at least at that period in the season, we're always bringing on people at halftime to change the game, are we setting out in the right way? And I think big games it's on lock, but I feel in small games we're a bit pragmatic at times. So it's an interesting one. On that note, though, people, Deluded, I'm out. Thank you very much for watching and rocking with me. Thank you, like I said.